Welcome back to the deep dive. It is February 2026.
Already?
I know, the year's just flying by. And honestly, looking at the digital landscape right now, it feels like we're in a completely different world than we were even, what, 2 or 3 years ago.
It really does. The speed of change is just, it's relentless, especially with how AI has saturated, well, everything.
It's funny you bring up AI because that's really the backdrop for what we're digging into today. We have this stack of research here titled Video Strategy as Modern Business Infrastructure.
hmm
And I have to be honest, when I first saw that title, my skeptical alarm bells started ringing. Infrastructure is such a heavy word.
It is, yeah. It sounds expensive.
Sounds like something a consultant sells you when they want to charge you double.
Right, like synergy or digital transformation.
Exactly. I mean, it immediately made me think back to the good old days. And I mean, like 2022, where video was just a nice to have.
Absolutely, the cherry on top.
Yeah, it was. If you had the budget, you'd hire someone, make something cool, and feel great. If not, well, you'd write a blog post and call it a day. But this research, it's arguing that that mindset is basically a death sentence in 2026.
It is. And the reason isn't just because, people like video. It's deeper. It's
Yeah.
because the fundamental way we process information has shifted.
How so?
Well, think about it. In a world where I can get an AI to generate a 2,000-word article in 4 seconds, text has lost a lot of its signal.
It's too easy to make.
It's too easy. So video, specifically authentic human video, has become the primary utility for building trust.
So what you're saying is because the internet is so flooded with synthetic text, just seeing a human face talk is now the ultimate luxury asset.
Precisely. It's proof of life.
Yeah.
But the argument here goes even deeper than just marketing. The core idea is that video isn't a format or a tactic anymore.
Right.
It is business infrastructure, which means if you treat it like just another JPEG or a social post, you are missing the actual plumbing that makes a modern business run.
Okay, that is a huge claim.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to stress test that. We're going to unpack why posting more is actually the wrong strategy, which sounds completely wild. We're going to look at why the algorithms have totally changed what they care about. Spoiler alert,
Yeah.
it is not your views. And we're going to break down this infrastructure idea to see if it holds water.
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with the algorithms. Because I feel like for the last decade, the advice was just simple. Feed the beast.
Oh, yeah.
Frequency, frequency, frequency. If you aren't posting 3 times a day, you don't even exist.
Yeah.
But looking at the data here, that seems to be, well, dead.
It's completely dead. And frankly, it's been dead for a while, but people are only just now catching up. The old metric was frequency.
Right.
The new metric is retention. And I don't just mean did they watch it. I mean
Yeah.
attention depth.
Okay, let's get a little technical for a second. Because retention is a word that gets thrown around all the time. Make engaging content. Great, thanks. But what are the platforms actually measuring in 2026? What is the AI looking for?
It's looking for behavioral signals, signals that indicate real intent. Years ago, a view was just, 3 seconds on screen?
Right, a total vanity metric.
Useless. Now the algorithms are tracking something called the velocity of X.
The velocity of exit. That sounds like a sci-fi thriller.
It's pretty brutal. It measures how quickly someone swipes away. If you stop the scroll for, say, 1.5 seconds and then you're gone, the algorithm penalizes you heavily.
It learns you're just noise.
You're just noise. But on the flip side, it tracks what we could call positive friction. Did the user pause the video to read a graphic on the screen? Did they scrub backward to re-listen to a sentence?
So scrubbing back is like a superpower signal.
It is the absolute gold standard. It tells the system, this piece of information was so valuable I had to hear it twice. That single action is worth 1,000 passive views.
That makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
I find myself doing that all the time with tutorials or, a really dense analysis video.
Okay.
I'll rewind 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But I never do that with just like entertainment clips. I just consume and move on.
Right. And that's the aha moment. All these businesses churning out content just to be visible, the ones, the Happy Tuesday posts?
I know.
They are playing a volume game in a world that now runs on retention. They're not generating any of that positive friction. They're just taking up space. And the algorithms in 2026 are smart enough to know the difference between I'm looking at this and I'm learning from this.
So we've moved from a metric of eyes on screen to brain in gear,
Exactly.
which brings us to the how. Because if the goal is all about retention and depth, we have to talk about formats.
Oh.
This research draws a really hard line between short-form and long-form video.
Yeah.
And I feel like most brands still treat them as the same thing. Just make a video.
They are completely different psychological engines. You can't use a hammer to turn a sprue, and you can't use a TikTok trend to close a big B2B contract.
Okay, let's break this down. The research uses this brilliant framework. Short form creates curiosity. Long form creates confidence.
That is the key takeaway of this whole thing. Think of short form, so your Reels, Shorts, TikTok as your discovery engine.
Okay.
Its only job is to introduce an idea, to break a pattern, or ask a provocative question. It thrives on momentum. It's the handshake at the networking event.
And long form, then.
Long form is the coffee meeting you have after that networking event. Its whole job is trust.
Right.
You cannot explain a complex methodology or a nuanced product in 60 seconds. You just can't. Long form, so YouTube, webinars, deep dive interviews, that allows for context. It creates confidence because it proves you aren't just a headline.
I see this failure mode all the time.
Yeah.
I'll see a company trying to explain their entire, complex logistics software in a 30-second reel with some trending audio.
And you're just confused.
I'm just confused.
And on the flip side, you see these brilliant experts, consultants, engineers who have hour-long lectures on YouTube that are incredible, just deep, insightful stuff. But they have 12 views.
Why?
Because they have no curiosity engine, they have no discovery mechanism to get people interested in the first place.
So it's a relay race.
Exactly. The short form passes the baton, and if you drop that baton, you lose the race.
Speaking of dropping the baton, let's talk about the copy-paste trap.
Yeah,
This is a personal pet peeve of mine.
I think it is for a lot of people.
I'm on LinkedIn, trying to be a serious professional, and I see a video that is so clearly ripped straight from TikTok. It has the watermark, the frantic pointing at text bubbles, the loud music. It just feels off.
It feels wrong because the context is wrong. This is the biggest mistake we see in the data. People think content is content, but it's not. It's contextual communication.
Okay, so let's workshop this. I think people struggle with the practical side here. Let's say I've got a 10-minute video, a deep dive on, the future of supply chain management.
Good, meaty B2B top.
Right, how do I actually cut that for different platforms without just copy-pasting?
Okay, great question. Let's look at the psychology of the user on each platform. So on YouTube, the user is in learn mode.
Right.
So your 10-minute video lives there very comfortably. The hook is about value. In the next 10 minutes, I'll show you how to save 15% on logistics. Simple.
Okay, straightforward enough. Now let's take that same video to LinkedIn.
Okay, on LinkedIn, the user is in career or network mode. They're scrolling between their boss's latest update and a job posting. They don't want a lecture.
No.
They want an insight that makes them smarter right now. So you don't post the 10-minute video. You cut a 60-second clip that focuses on one specific juicy pain point. Maybe the caption is something like, "Are you making this critical mistake in your logistics planning?" It appeals to their professional ambition or even anxiety.
Got it. So LinkedIn gets the high-level specific insight. Now, TikTok or Shorts?
On TikTok, the user is purely in dopamine mode. They're bored. If you start with, "Hello, today I want to talk about logistics," they are gone. Swipe.
I'm gone just listening to you say it.
Exactly. So on TikTok, you have to lead with the visual or the shock value. Maybe you start with a shot of a giant ship stuck in a canal and say, "This one mistake cost $1 billion." You hook them with the spectacle, you give them one quick surprising fact, and then, and this part is crucial, you point them to the long-form video for the actual solution.
So it's the same core meat, the supply chain expertise,
Yeah.
but it's served on completely different plates.
Right. It's the difference between serving a steak dinner, a steak sandwich, and a beef slider. Same cow, different context. If you try to hand someone a full steak dinner while they're driving, which is basically what TikTok is,
They're going to get annoyed.
yeah, they're going to crash.
I love that analogy. Don't serve steak dinners to drivers. We should get that on a t-shirt.
It's a bit niche, but I like it.
Okay, I want to pivot to something the research calls compressing understanding. This bit really struck me because it finally explains why video converts better than text, and it's not just people are lazy.
No, it's not about laziness at all. It's about the efficiency of data transfer.
Break that down for me.
Okay, think about explaining a founder's vision for their company or a really complex software workflow. If you write that out, the reader has to do a lot of heavy lifting.
Oh.
They have to imagine the interface in their head. They have to try and interpret your tone. Is this a serious point? Is it sarcastic? And they have to synthesize it all. That takes a lot of cognitive load.
Right. I read product pages where I get to the end and I think, I technically understand all the words you use, but I have absolutely no idea what your product actually does.
Exactly. Video compresses understanding because demonstration always outperforms explanation.
Yeah.
If I can just show you the workflow in a 30-second screen recording, your brain just gets it instantly.
Yeah.
You see the button click, you see the result. There's no interpretation needed. You're just removing friction from the brain.
And there's the emotional layer too. In 2026, with so much AI text out there, I feel like I don't really know a company until I see the people behind it.
That's what the source calls perceived distance. Text creates a wall. It's abstract. Video breaks down that wall. When you see a founder's face, you hear their cadence, you see their excitement. You are building a kind of parasocial bond instantly. You feel like you know them.
It's credibility.
It is. In a world of deepfakes and AI-generated everything, being a real human on camera is the highest form of verification. You're saying, I am real, I am here, and I stand behind this. That builds trust faster than any white paper ever could.
Which brings us back to the big one, the title of the research.
Hmm.
Video as business infrastructure. We've talked a lot about marketing, but this concept implies something much, much bigger, something internal.
This is the mental shift that is separating the winners from the losers in 2026. Most companies, they still think of video as external marketing, something you throw out into the world to catch fish.
Right.
But infrastructure means it supports the whole house.
So what does that look like in practice? Give me an example of video as infrastructure that isn't just a commercial.
Okay, look at customer support, the old way. A customer has a problem, they email support. A human writes a long email back. The customer doesn't understand it, so they email again. It becomes this 3-day loop.
Painful. I've definitely been there.
The video infrastructure way.
Yeah.
You have a library of, say, 500 pre-recorded, high-clarity videos answering every single FAQ. The customer asks a question. An AI agent on your site instantly serves them the exact 45-second video showing them which button to click.
Problem solved in 1 minute. No ticket created.
And that's not marketing. That's operations.
That's operational efficiency.
Exactly. Or look at sales enablement. Instead of sending a generic PDF proposal, your sales rep records a quick 3-minute personalized Loom video walking the client through the pricing. Hey, John, I know you were worried about X, so here's exactly how we handle that.
That would close the deal so much faster.
Much faster. And here's the kicker. For 2026, video is now fully searchable. It used to be this black box of data. But now, with AI indexing, your internal team can search your entire video library just like a wiki. How did we solve that server crash last year? Boom, here's the recording of the engineer explaining it.
So you're building a corporate brain.
You're building an asset library. See, if you stop posting on social media tomorrow, your marketing just stops. But if you have built this video infrastructure, these support libraries, these sales assets, these training modules, that value keeps compounding. It works for you while you sleep.
That is a massive distinction. Marketing is an expense. Infrastructure is an asset.
Correct. And the companies that get this are building what the source calls structured video ecosystems. They aren't just shooting random content. They are cataloging knowledge.
It's about intentionality versus chaos. And I think a lot of us are still in the chaos phase.
Most of us are, but the tools are finally here now to organize it.
So let's bring this in for a landing. We've covered a ton of ground, from the retention cliff and the steak dinner analogy, all the way to this idea of video as a searchable corporate brain.
It's a lot to digest.
It really is. So if I'm a listener, maybe I'm a founder or a marketing director or just someone trying to build a personal brand, and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now, what's the one step I take tomorrow? Do I go buy a camera? Do I start dancing on TikTok?
Please don't start dancing unless you're really, really good at it.
Okay, duly noted.
The first step is to audit your confidence assets. Forget the viral hits for a minute.
Okay.
Go and look at your business. Do you have a single video that clearly and simply explains what you do? Do you have videos that answer the top 5 objections your customers always bring up?
The infrastructure pieces.
Yes.
Yeah.
Build the foundation first. Create those long-form, high-trust assets. Once you have those, then you can start slicing them up for LinkedIn or TikTok to drive traffic. But if you drive traffic to a text-heavy website that just confuses people, you're just lighting money on fire.
Build the house before you invite the guests over.
Exactly.
You know, there's a thought that's been nagging me throughout this entire conversation. We keep saying that video is the primary utility for processing information now.
It is.
So what happens to the businesses, or even just the ideas that refuse to adapt? The ones that say, I'm a writer, I stick to text, or our B2B product is way too serious for video.
That is a very dangerous place to be in 2026.
Right. Because it feels like the penalty for being text only isn't just that you're boring, it's that you're becoming invisible.
I'd say it's actually worse than invisible. You're misunderstood. If everyone else is communicating with the nuance and the tone and the speed of video, and you are just handing people a wall of gray text, you're basically speaking a dead language.
A dead language.
You're asking your customer to do all the work of reading, of imagining, of trusting that your competitor is doing for them with video. And in an economy of attention, the path of least resistance always wins.
Wow. That is a haunting thought to leave us on. The path of least resistance always wins. If you aren't making it easy for people to understand you, they just won't.
Simple as that.
Well, on that cheerful note, seriously though, this has been a massive wake-up call for me. I am definitely going to be looking at my own video infrastructure a little differently this week.
It's a journey. Just start with one asset.
One asset.
Yeah.
We can do that. And for you listening, thank you for giving us your attention depth today. We know how valuable that is. Go create something that builds confidence, not just curiosity. We'll catch you in the next deep dive.
See you then.